Question 1. What is biodiversity? Answer. Biodiversity refers to the variety of living organisms on Earth. All these living organisms, including man, are interdependent on each other. Question 2. Why is biodiversity important for human lives? Answer. Biodiversity is vital for human survival as it provides food, medicine, clean air and water, supports ecosystems, and helps protect against climate change and natural disasters. Tropical regions, which make up 10% of the Earth's surface, are particularly rich in biodiversity, housing 90% of the world's species. Biodiversity contributes to human lives via agriculture, business and industry, leisure activities, and ecological processes. Without biodiversity, the natural systems we depend on would collapse, threatening our health, economy, and survival. Question 3. How have human activities affected the depletion of flora and fauna? Explain. Answer. Human activities have significantly contributed to the depletion of flora and fauna. Deforestation for agriculture and urbanization, clearing forests for farming, housing, and infrastructure destroys habitats and reduces biodiversity. Overexploitation of resources, excessive hunting, logging, and collection of forest products lead to species extinction and ecosystem imbalance. Pollution, industrial waste, pesticide, and plastic pollution contaminate soil and water, harming plant and animal life. Mining and large-scale projects activities like mining and dam construction disrupt ecosystems and displace wildlife. Question 4. Write a note on good practices towards conserving forest and wildlife. Answer. Below are 5 good practices towards conserving forest and wildlife. 1. Afforestation and reforestation. Planting trees to restore forest cover and prevent soil erosion. 2. Species-specific conservation projects. Initiatives like Project Tiger and Project Elephant help protect endangered species and their habitats. 3. Protected areas, establishing national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves to safeguard biodiversity. 4. Legal measures, enforcing laws such as the Wildlife Protection Act, 1972, and Forest Conservation Act, 1980, to regulate exploitation. 5. Community-led initiatives, examples like Bhairo De Varkav, Sonchuri, in Rajasthan show how villages can create informal sanctuaries by banning hunting and promoting conservation. Question 5. Are historical forest policies during colonial times accountable for current environmental issues? Answer. Historical forest policies from colonial times have had a lasting impact on today's environment. These policies focused on using forests to make money without thinking about how it would affect nature or local communities. As a result, many forests were cut down for wood and to make space for farms, which made it hard for animals and plants to survive. People who lived in these forests lost their homes and ways to make a living. Using forests mostly for profit caused problems in nature that we still have today. These old decisions show why it's important to balance making money with taking care of nature for the future. Question 6. Have you observed any activities in your surroundings contributing to biodiversity loss? Describe them and suggest measures to address this issue. Answer. In urban areas, activities like building more cities and roads and not properly cleaning up garbage hurt plants and animals. To fix this, save green areas, keep parks and nature spots safe from more buildings. Plant local plants, grow plants that belong there in gardens to help animals. Stop pollution, make laws to cut down on cars and factory dirt. Teach. Tell more people how to save nature in schools and communities. Question 7. Describe how communities have conserved and protected forests and wildlife in India. Answer. In India, many traditional communities still live in the forests and depend on it for their livelihood. They work together with the government to conserve forests. Chipko movement, 1970s, originating in Uttarakhand, villagers, especially women, hugged trees preventing them from being cut down. This non-violent protest raised awareness about deforestation and emphasized the ecological value of forests. In Sariska Tiger Reserve, Rajasthan, villagers fought against mining activities. Bhairo De Varkav, Sonchuri, local communities belonging to 5 villages have set their own rules and regulations in 1,200 hectares of forest land where hunting and poaching are strictly prohibited. Beej Bachao Andolan, Save the Seeds movement started in Tehri, Uttarakhand, and focused on conserving indigenous seeds and promoting traditional agricultural practices that are eco-friendly and forest-sustaining. Sacred groves and cultural practices in many parts of India. Certain forest patches are protected due to religious beliefs. These sacred groves are considered the abode of deities and are strictly protected by local communities, helping preserve biodiversity. Community forest reserves in northeast India in states like Nagaland and Meghalaya, tribal communities have declared their own forest areas as community reserves. Enforcing rules to prevent hunting and logging. These initiatives reflect the deep ecological wisdom and commitment of local communities towards sustainable forest and wildlife conservation.
Let me remind you to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here.
Question 8. Write a short essay on any practices you have observed and practiced in everyday lives that help conserve and protect the environment around you. Answer. In our daily lives, we can do simple things to protect the environment by fixing leaks to save water and using water-efficient appliances helps. Recycling paper, plastic, and glass reduce waste. Turning off lights and using energy-saving devices saves electricity. Planting trees and buying local foods helps cut down on pollution. Avoiding single-use plastics like bags and straws reduces garbage. Talking about these issues with others helps spread awareness and encourages everyone to help the environment. Question 9. Justify how the destruction of forests and wildlife is not merely a biological issue. Answer. The destruction of forests and wildlife isn't just about biology. It affects many aspects of human life and society. Loss of forests and wildlife impacts our daily lives beyond biology. It impacts our environment, economy, and culture. Environmental impact. Deforestation leads to soil erosion, loss of water quality, and disruptions in the carbon cycle, affecting climate stability. Wildlife loss disrupts ecosystems, leading to imbalances that can increase pests and diseases. Economic impact. Forests provide resources like timber, medicine, and livelihoods for millions. Wildlife tourism generates income and jobs in many regions. Cultural impact. Many communities rely on forests for spiritual and cultural practices. Loss of wildlife can erase traditional knowledge and practices linked to local biodiversity. Question 10. How has the loss of wildlife resulted in the decline of cultural diversity? Answer. The loss of wildlife has deeply impacted cultural diversity, especially in communities whose traditions, beliefs, and livelihoods are closely tied to nature. Here's how. Wildlife has always been important in cultural practices and beliefs, forming a big part of traditions and identities. Many cultures have stories and rituals about animals, which symbolize values like strength or wisdom. Traditional medicines often use ingredients from wildlife, showing deep cultural knowledge. Hunting and gathering have shaped how people live and eat, connecting communities and passing down knowledge through generations. Question 11. Explain the concept of joint forest management. Answer. Joint forest management, JFM, is a collaborative forest conservation strategy introduced by the Government of India in 1988. Aimed at involving local communities in the protection and sustainable management of forest resources. Under this program, villages work alongside forest departments to regenerate degraded forest lands and prevent deforestation. In return, they receive access to non-timber forest products, like fruits, honey, and medicinal plants, and a share in timber revenue. JFM empowers communities by forming village forest committees that help monitor forest use and promote eco-friendly practices. This participatory approach not only enhances forest cover but also strengthens the bond between people and nature, making conservation a shared responsibility. Question 12. What measures has the government taken to conserve and protect wildlife? Answer. The government has taken steps to protect wildlife in India. They've set up national parks, sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves. These areas provide safe homes for endangered species and limit human activities that could harm them. Laws like the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 ban hunting and trading endangered animals. Government and NGOs work together to enforce these laws. Awareness campaigns educate people about wildlife conservation. Breeding programs aim to increase populations of endangered animals. Efforts also focus on reducing conflicts between people and wildlife by restoring habitats and involving local communities in conservation. Question 13. Explain the various categories in which existing species of plants and animals can be classified. Provide examples of plants and animals in each category. Answer. Species of plants and animals are sorted into different groups based on how many are left and how much danger they are in. These groups help decide how to protect them better. Rare. Species with very few left that aren't endangered yet but need watching. Examples include certain types of orchids and some small bird species. Vulnerable. Species that might become endangered if we keep destroying their homes or hunting them. Examples include the snow leopard and the leatherback turtle. Endangered. Species that are at risk of disappearing if we don't protect them. Examples include the Bengal tiger and the giant panda. Critically endangered, species at very high risk of dying out soon. Examples include the Javan rhinoceros and the vaquita porpoise. Extinct, these are species that no longer exist anywhere on Earth. Examples include the dodo bird and the Tasmanian tiger. Question 14. List 3 methods of forest conservation adopted by the government post-independence. Answer. After India gained independence, the government implemented several ways to protect forests and ensure they are used wisely. These methods include laws and rules. The government made laws like the Wildlife Protection Act and Forest Conservation Act to stop the illegal cutting of trees and protect forests. Planting trees. They started projects to plant new trees, afforestation, and restore damaged forests, reforestation, to increase the number of trees. Involving communities. Programs like Joint Forest Management, JFM, let local people help take care of forests. This helps them earn from the forest without harming it, like collecting fruits or nuts. Question 15. Write a brief overview of Project Tiger. Answer. Project Tiger is a wildlife conservation initiative launched by the Government of India in 1973 to protect the endangered Bengal tiger and its natural habitat. Managed by the National Tiger Conservation Authority, NTCA, Project Tiger began with 9 tiger reserves and has expanded to over 50 reserves across India. The project focuses on combating threats like habitat loss and poaching through strict anti-poaching measures. Its goals include ensuring a viable population of tigers in their natural habitats, reducing human-tiger conflicts, preserving biodiversity through habitat protection. Project Tiger has played a crucial role in stabilizing and increasing tiger populations, making it one of the most successful conservation programs in India. Question 16. Explain the importance of sacred groves in the conservation of biodiversity in India. Answer. Sacred groves are important in India for conserving biodiversity because they protect rare plants and animals. These groves provide homes for many different wildlife species like birds and insects. They also help keep plant species diverse by preserving their different genes. Local communities consider sacred groves special, so they protect them from activities like cutting down trees or building houses. This helps keep India's plants and animals safe and balanced in their natural habitats. Question 17. Discuss the role of local communities in the conservation of forests and wildlife. Answer. Local communities know a lot about the forests and animals near them. They use this knowledge to protect plants and animals and use resources sustainably. They also help stop illegal activities like hunting and cutting down trees. Working together with governments and groups helps keep forests and wildlife safe. Question 18. Explain 4 reasons for the depletion of forest resources in India. Answer. Forest resources in India are decreasing for the following 4 reasons. 1. Deforestation. Forests are cut down to make space for farming in cities as the population grows. This leads to less forest cover. 2. Mining and logging. Illegal cutting of trees and mining also harms forests. These activities happen without following the rules, which damages forest ecosystems. 3. Forest fires. Fires, whether natural or caused by people, burn large parts of forests each year. 4. Encroachment and improper land use. People building homes and using land wrongly also hurt forests, making it harder for them to support plants and animals. Question 19. How are forests important for the environment and human well-being? Answer. Forests help keep our air clean by taking in carbon dioxide and giving out oxygen. They prevent soil erosion from being washed away, which helps farmers grow crops. Forests are homes for many plants and animals, keeping ecosystems healthy. People use forests for wood, medicines, and food, which are important for our daily lives. Question 20. Differentiate between endangered species and vulnerable species of wild animals. Give one example of each. Answer. Endangered species are those facing a very high risk of extinction shortly. This is often due to a significant decline in their population size or a reduction in their habitat. On the other hand, vulnerable species are likely to become endangered if their declining trends continue. While they are not currently facing as high risk as endangered species, they are still threatened and require conservation efforts to prevent further decline. Endangered species. These species have critically low population numbers, which means there are very few left in the wild. They face severe threats such as habitat loss, poaching, and climate change. Example, Amur leopard, found in parts of Russia and China. The Amur leopard is critically endangered due to habitat loss, poaching for its beautiful fur, and human-wildlife conflict. Vulnerable species. These species have declining populations and are at risk of becoming endangered if conservation measures are not implemented. They face threats similar to endangered species but are not as critically endangered yet. Example, giraffes, found in various parts of Africa. Giraffes are vulnerable due to habitat loss from agriculture and human settlements, as well as illegal hunting for their meat and body parts. Efforts are underway to protect their habitats and manage their population sustainably. Question 21. Describe the measures taken by the government for the conservation of forests and wildlife. Answer. The government does a lot to save forests and wildlife. They make parks and places where wildlife can live safely without hunting or trees being cut. Create laws to stop people from hunting endangered animals and cutting down too many trees. Create special projects like Project Tiger and Project Elephant, which help protect specific animals in their homes. Teach people about why forests and wildlife are important to keep safe. Question 22. Differentiate between reserved forests and protected forests in India. Answer. Reserved forests are those where strict rules protect the trees and animals. People can't use these forests for normal living or farming. They're kept safe mainly for nature and wildlife. Protected forests have rules to keep them safe, but they're not as strict as reserved forests. People can live nearby and use some resources like wood, but it's controlled to make sure the forest stays healthy. Question 23. What are the major threats faced by wildlife in India? Provide examples. Answer. Wildlife in India faces big problems that could make them disappear. Losing homes because people cut down forests for farming in cities. Getting killed for their skins or horns to sell illegally. Animals like elephants and leopards sometimes hurt people when their homes get smaller. Pollution in water and air also hurts wildlife, making it harder for them to live.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you like this video and share it with your friends and classmates. If you are new here, do subscribe to the channel and press on the bell icon to get notifications of new videos.